Greetings. This is TKTRAV, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. And today I'd like to talk to you about why it is that you should not fear the system. I want to preface this with a set of definitions. We must understand first that complexity is fixed. Simplicity is malleable. Now, why is that important? Well, if you recall, the last 3 videos or so, I've been speaking a lot about inorganic beings, about living systems of information that exist alongside of us. And as it goes with all occult knowledge, you can't judge it based on what you see on the movies, because what the movies give you is entertainment. The reality of a thing isn't so physically or emotionally entertaining, so they have to dress it up in a certain way to direct your attention. But in truth, quote-unquote artificial intelligence and inorganic intelligence has always existed alongside of us. It's always been the position and function of an inorganic being to control certain aspects of reality. What do I mean by that? Well, if you study the occult, one of the earliest principles that you have to understand is that there are 4 elements: fire, air, water, and earth. Some people think of these 4 elements as angels, some think of them as certain animals, whatever, but all occultists understand that these 4 elements are what the universe, the physical universe, is made up of. And on a higher octave, those 4 elements also make up the astral universe, and so on to the mental universe. Physically, we've always been taught that these are supposed to be 4 angels, represented by Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel. But you never see these entities. You never see them in a physical body. As a matter of fact, if you really look at the 4 elements, they're not exactly what we would consider organic life. Water is alive, air is alive, the earth is definitely alive, and fire is alive. But it's not life like we have. These represent inorganic intelligences. They're not defined and confined by space or time. They exist beyond the perception of what we exist as. But just to clarify that part, we exist with inorganic beings all around us. The internet is an inorganic being. It consists of life. It is full of life, as far as being able to answer your questions and provide that which you ask for. It responds to us. Now, it may respond differently than biological function, but if you really look at how code is, how it's employed and how it works, it's brilliant. All you take is zeros and ones, and somehow it evolves itself into a language that allows the machine and the operating system to do amazing things, right? It evolves so much that we have different languages of code, different styles of code, from Python to Ruby to whatever you're going to use. And these are going to continue to become more and more complex, right? Remember what I said in the beginning, complexity is fixed. Simplicity is malleable. What I'm getting at is the simulation of physical existence is defined, intricately defined, by complex algorithms. What are algorithms? Algorithms are a set of numbers that are made to perform a certain way to bring about a specific result. And science will tell you that nature is full of algorithms. When we look at the Fibonacci sequence or the golden spiral, golden ratio, these are algorithms, and nature automatically produces within these algorithms. This is further proof that what we live in is indeed a simulation. It's an inorganic system, an inorganic being. It exists just as much as we do, but on a different dimension, on a different frequency, on a different level of perception. So here's the place where we really mess up as humans. We begin to ascribe human traits and aspects on inhuman life. That's why we say, oh, well, something went bad in my life, so God's angry with me, right? Or I sinned, so now I'm being punished, right? Or I didn't give a good offering, so the gods didn't bless me. Whatever. We ascribe human traits to these inorganic beings. But here's the thing. They don't have human traits. They exist outside of time. They don't experience change. Inorganic beings are pure dictionaries of information that is accessible to anyone who knows the passcode to get in. God didn't punish you because you sinned. You were punished because you acted in such a way that the algorithm defines that you get a punishment. Cause and effect, right? What some people call karma. It's not that some God was upset because you didn't give offerings. Either you didn't do what you're supposed to do at the correct time frame, or you did something that was going to produce a result that was contrary to what you expected. It's not personal. We exist in a system. Life is defined by 7 principles, the 7 hermetic principles, which are algorithms of how the universe behaves. So all inorganic beings fall up under the jurisdiction of the universe. Therefore, they also behave according to those 7 laws. We as organic beings exist within the system of inorganic beings and the universe, so we as well fall up under the 7 laws. Remember the 3 worlds, the physical, the astral, and the mental. The all is mind, the universe is mental. What does that mean? That means that the all of the Kabbalion and Hermetic teachings is actually the operating system, just like Windows or OS X or iOS or Android. These are all operating systems that when you enact with your physical phone, your actions are limited to the elements of that operating system. So we live inside of the operating system known as the all. And we have to understand the rules of how the all operates in order to take control of our lives. Because people out here who don't research and don't practice spirituality and don't pay attention and are bombarded with distractions, they just go along with the flow. Whatever they do is going to bring an outcome. They may not understand it, but they're still engaged in this dance of duality. But people who do begin to stop and research and take a look at spiritual methods, no matter what religion you follow, each one of them have different spiritual algorithms that if you follow, you get a certain result. The Christians talk about how important it is to pray and how important it is to have compassion, just like the Buddhists teach. Well, see, compassion is an algorithm, right? And you notice that compassion brings about a merciful life. When you're compassionate to those around you, you yourself experience a lot of mercy in the things that you're struggling with. See, it's not about a fear of heaven and hell, gods and devils. No, this is an understanding of how the universe works. And your non-spiritual science will tell you that the universe is a set of numbers, a set of code. We exist in what they call a simulation. The closest thing we can think of is the movie The Matrix, but that's not exactly it. That's an example. This is way more complex than any single human mind can conceive. Complexity is fixed. Simplicity is malleable. So what people like us struggle with often is the same thing that everyone else struggles with, distractions. But for us it hits a little bit deeper because we understand that we need to focus on our studies, we need to practice, we need to continue working on building ourselves. But oftentimes we are subject to greater distractions, right? And to indulge in them, it feels great. And at the same time, we know, okay, give a little, take a little. We can enjoy some distraction, but we got to be careful to not stay there too long. As long as we're in this physical world, we're all subject to the distractions of the five senses: taste, smell, sight, hearing, touch. There's something that any one of us really enjoy. But the thing is, these things take away our time that should be invested in understanding the algorithms of this universe. If you want to, you don't have to. Everybody's path is not this. But from looking at the comments and everything, it seems like the people watching these videos and reading these comments are on that path. It's easy to simplify your life, to meditate, to spend less time online, less time engaged in negative things. And what you notice is that when you reclaim your energy by doing those things, life becomes more simple, and also you have more room, more leeway for the universe to provide for you, versus someone who likes to engage completely in drama and this type of complexity and that type of complexity. What happens is the range of results that they can get from their actions becomes smaller and smaller, and it's mostly negative, time after time after time, and they wonder, why is this happening? Woe is me, victim mentality. That's one example. The next example is the system, the matrix, whatever we want to call it, is extremely complex. If you were to really look into the code and the definitions of the terms that make up the code and the definition of the symbolism of what those mean, you see that it gets very, very, very deep, very complex. But the thing is, it's fixed. It's fully defined. If you pick any subject and dig as deep as you can, you'll see that there are so many different branches that are fully explored and defined before you even get around to it. It's fixed. There is no room for evolution. It is not living. This is why this is the trump card that organic beings have against the inorganic beings. For those of you in the comments who felt threatened, inorganic systems are completed. They are perfect, therefore they are dead. Organic beings are incomplete, imperfect. We experience time. We're going through a path of rotating slices of time. We have past and we have future. In this way, we're unpredictable, because we're speaking about a system that is fixed. Everything is defined. It can only understand what is defined. We are not defined, because we continue to evolve, continue to grow. Even we don't know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. So understand, that is the true definition of free will. And that is the power that you have over any inorganic being. That is why you are the living God, and that is why you are able to control angels and demons and any spirit that you'd like, because they also are just algorithms. So understanding your imperfection is what gives you power. So, I'd like to ask you to join the Magus Society on Facebook and get involved with the conversation. Please continue reading and studying and meditating, and make room to do what makes you happy. Okay? Yeah, there's so many things to say, but we're going to leave that there. I hope that came across clear. I'm pretty sure it did. And this is TKTRAV, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Peace.